stars at night are big and bright. Deep in the heart of Texas, the prairie skies are wide and high. Deep in the heart of Texas, deep in the heart of Texas.
Hey there, welcome to King of the Hill podcast. I'm Mike.
And I am still Rusty.
He still is Rusty. Rusty, we are doing this remotely just simply because I was prescribed some stuff for a sinus infection yesterday, and I felt like dog shite. So I'm doing it from the house. And you are always ready to go, so I appreciate that about you.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Life happens. I honestly don't really mind recording from home. I got all my technology at my fingertips and everything. It's a little more technologically fluid, I guess, on my end.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice to have everything ready to go. Baby T, hello. Artie, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I just ordered a 8-inch. It's like an 8-inch screen, but it's kind of long like this, about the length of the bottom of my monitor. So I'm gonna have that down at the bottom of my monitor, and it's a touch screen too. So
that's cool.
I'm gonna see how that goes. And today I also, if they don't deliver while we're recording, I'll get to see my first Amazon drone delivery. I went ahead and did it on there, but the funny thing is it'll be in 4 separate drones because they can only hold up to 5 pounds, and I ordered 4 items, and 4 items all weighed together. They weighed more, so they had to deliver it in 4 drones. So I'm kind of interested to see how do they just like stack up, and one drops and flies off, and then one drops and flies off, and then I don't know. I guess I'll find out. I'll try to record it and post it on our socials.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great
if I can get it. Yeah.
I was watching Pluribus, that Vince Gilligan show.
Yeah, I just fixed my my sister does family sharing with her Apple account, and for some reason it hadn't been working, so we just reset it all. So I'm gonna get on Pluribus probably tonight. I want to try that out.
It is very good. It's very slow, but that's a good thing because it's a slow burn. Yeah, this last episode I watched, she has to get. It's like a collective or whatever, right?
Okay.
And she's not part of it. And she picks up the phone and says, I need my trash taken out. And she puts it down, and then in comes this giant drone to pick up her trash, right? That she set out at the curb.
Okay.
And they say it can only be 17 pounds, and you have to put them 2 feet apart from each other, and blah, 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 blah. And so the drone comes in and it gets it, it picks it up, and it's like struggle. And then it finally gets up and it gets going, and bam, it hits a light pole and whips around it and just gets stuck there. So her trash is just hanging from the light pole.
Yeah. That's funny.
It's pretty good.
That is good. I like that. Now, when you set it up on the app for the drone delivery, if you order over, I don't know, I think it's like $50 worth, it's free. Otherwise, it's a $4.99 or a $2, which is kind of not bad if you think about a delivery fee. It's like $2.99 or $4.99, something like that, for a drone to drop stuff off at your house. But I had over 50, so it was free. And so it has a overview of your house, and it has certain points in your yard that I guess the algorithm is deemed open enough for the drone to drop down. So you could actually switch different locations in your yard if your yard has enough of the spare free locations for them. And we have a pretty decent sized yard, so I was able to pick exactly where I wanted to drop and all that. So I don't know. It's kind of we're kind of diving into the unknown here. What do you call it? We're entering the twilight zone. The twilight zone of capitalism here. Yeah.
Frightening. Yeah. Late stage capitalism is fun. All right. So today, I was in a box. How you doing, buddy? Shut up.
Yeah. How you doing?
King of the Hill, season 8, episode 6, or in the year of our Lord 7 ABE 19, After the Mold Rush. Originally,
and
Hang on one
This
second.
is
It originally aired December 7th, 2003. Go.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that's the closest we've ever been to the actual air date of an episode, recording an episode.
Yep.
We've gotten close a lot, but this is
6,
like
7.
yeah, well, they say 8, 9. That's how you're supposed to
Okay, so 6, 7, 8, 9.
8, 9. Yeah, that's how you're supposed to
Okay.
counteract the kids. If you
Fantastic.
hear them say 6, 7, you're supposed to go 8, 9.
I have just been saying 6, 7 as much as I possibly can in because I want it to go away. I figure if they see an old man saying it over and over, it's dead. You know?
It might be, yeah. I don't know.
So
They
I'm,
might.
I'm,
It
I'm
might.
ready to kill it off by
I
just
don't know
saying
if
6,
that.
7 all the time. I say 6, 7, and then I also send videos to our like little group chat at work that involve the Jet 2 holiday,
Oh, the Jet
sound
2
that you
holiday.
hear. Yeah.
I like that one. That one's good. Yeah.
They're all very sick of it. Okay, just a quick breakdown, and then I want you to tell me what you told me before we started. After I finish this, Hank enters his house in Arlen's Parade of Homes showcase, but when the Hill House tests positive for mold, Hank and his family must relocate to a seedy motel, or I'm sorry, hotel.
Yeah. So this is a mold fueled story. So I remember
I was in a box said his kindergartner had 6, 7 day at kindergarten yesterday. They had 6, 7 hats.
oh, that's crazy.
That's insane.
That is insane.
I'm sorry. Go.
No, you're good. But I remember, I don't know, when me and Mike first started doing this, I don't know, probably a good 5 or 6 months into it, he got a call from Ted Nugent's wife
Right.
to do some podcast stuff for Ted Nugent's wife and Ted Nugent's son. You did a show for too, I remember. I mean,
Yeah,
so
I
you
did.
had these two really flagrant personalities that you had to deal with in her son and her.
That's a good
But
word for it.
her whole thing was she had this mold paranoia. I don't know if it's based in truth or reality. I'll say that if she acts the way she's acting, she might have gotten some mold spores in her chest or something. But she has this whole thing about
Jeez.
mold, and it's all over her social
She
media.
does.
It's like
she wrote a book.
She wrote a book.
She wrote a book on mold.
She had a podcast about mold.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind
She
of
did.
interesting that this show, we had an anecdote to go with this, which you generally try not to have mold anecdotes, but that's our mold anecdote.
If my memory serves me correct, which it often does not, but if my memory serves me correct, they had to leave 5 different houses because they all had mold in them.
What are the odds? You know what I mean? I don't think 5 different houses. Oh yeah, we did tell a story about Ted Nugent. Yeah, we did tell a story about that where Mike turned around and shook his hand after he got through pissing. It was just like an instinct. Yeah.
It was insane. Yeah, and then I almost got killed by a tree falling on me. All right, so let's start this sucker if you are ready. We start
Are you ready?
Thank you, Michael Buffer. We start at the Megalomart in the plumbing aisle. All 4 guys are there. So Dale is the first one we hear. He's off screen. He says, "Hey guys, how do I look on this one, huh?" And it moves over to him, and he is sitting on a pink toilet with a magazine.
Yep.
Trying it out. Hank says, "Not here to joyride the toilets, Dale. If you can't get enough fun out of helping me buy new handle bushings, then there's something seriously wrong with you." Boy, I agree. Handle bushings?
I agree.
Hell yeah. So they go to pay, and as he's paying, we hear, "Hey, Hank Hill, what are you doing plumbing aisle? Need new crescent moon stencil for outhouse?" That's a pretty good burn, honestly.
That is a good burn. I like that one.
We
I
see
like that one.
We see Con.
That one's very specific. Yeah,
It is very hillbilly specific. We see Con leaning on the Parade of Homes display over there.
Yeah.
We have a Parade of Homes here, and I'm assuming they have it almost everywhere.
Yeah.
I've never understood it.
In Belmead, they put you in handcuffs and they drive you from one end of the trailer park to the other before they take you to jail, so you could wave at all your public before you leave. That's the Parade of Homes. They parade you in front of some homes and then take you out.
That's only for high-level politicians in Belmead, I think, is what that's for. Yes.
This is a Chris Elliott episode. Chris Elliott does have a voice.
So I think it's on the 3rd page of the script here. I wrote down Chris Elliott ?
Yeah, so there is Chris
Um,
Elliott, and like you said, there's also Steve Goodman is also
yeah,
played by
yeah.
Dave Thomas. Dave Thomas is he does Lane Prattley. He actually took
Yep.
over Dwight Yoakam. Dwight Yoakam was the first Lane Prattley, but obviously they
Oh,
couldn't
was he really? I
afford.
don't remember that.
Yeah, he
Huh.
was. But let's be real. They couldn't afford that guy to be in every episode ever. You know what I mean? They can't afford for him to be in every single episode. So
No, that
Dave
would have been a very
Thomas,
expensive character.
yeah, that would have been a very expensive character. He actually appears in season 4, episode 8, season 5, episode 2, 6, 13, and 19. Uh, episode season 8, episode 6, 8, and 9. So he's in 3 episodes in this season, and in season 9 he's in episode 10. So yeah, he's here. He's definitely a King of the Hill voice veteran, also a painter. Also did the voice of the Sorrow, which is a character in Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. And he also played Echo in Red Faction 2, which for our gamers out there, Red Faction 2 was a uh, awesome badass first person shooter that was for it was on PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube. It was that era of gaming, but it was a really good game. So he was in that too. So there you go.
Yeah, Dave Thomas, hell of a
Oh,
voiceover artist.
uh and Chris Elliott, for anybody that doesn't know who Chris Elliott is,
These
uh
pipes are clean.
he's a hilarious comedian. He's the guy, the potato guy with the put his hands in the potatoes in Scary
Mhm,
Movie or whatever.
mhm.
But his dad was a famous personality on radio and TV back in the 40s, 50s, and everything, named Bill Elliott. And he did a lot of late night TV stuff. And Chris Elliott, he was able to, I guess, off his dad's coattails, also do late night stuff, and he was on David Letterman a lot. David Letterman loved him.
Yeah.
He would like David Letterman. He did a bunch of skits for David Letterman.
If you ever want to check out Chris Elliott, go look at Guy Under the Stairs off of David Letterman. There's a guy living under the stairs that the people are sitting on in the studio audience. And then there's also one where Chris Elliott tries things out. So he comes out dressed up in a like a lab coat, and the one I remember the most, yes, Cabin Boy, you got it.
Cabin Boy, yeah.
That's what these pipes are clean are from. It's he's up there like he's a scientist testing out products, right? And they have 3 kinds of dog food, and they're like, okay, well, we're going to test these to see which one is best, blah blah blah. And then he just starts eating the dog food, and it's just gross and shit.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah.
At that moment, I knew I loved Chris Elliott.
Also, speaking of David Letterman, this is a little tangent, but
Mhm.
David Letterman has My Next Conversation, and he had one with Adam Sandler that I just
Yeah.
watched.
Yeah, was
That
it
was
good?
actually really, really good.
Yeah.
And I also watched
I do want to watch that quite a bit. I think it's
Yeah,
I
it's
think it's
really
cool
good.
that they're both of an age now where they can look back on this stuff.
Yeah, well, because when he was first on David Letterman, he was like 22.
Yeah.
And he had only been in the industry at that point 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 25 years. He had only been in the industry at that point.
Yeah.
And really, anybody that's from his generation of comedians will pretty much say, I mean, their Mount Rushmore is one person. It doesn't, it's just David Letterman, David Letterman, David Letterman, David Letterman. That's their Mount Rushmore, because for a comedian back then to get national exposure, you didn't have Kill Tony,
Yep.
you didn't have TikTok,
Mhm.
you didn't have all
YouTube.
these,
Yeah.
you didn't have YouTube, you didn't have all these digital platforms to put yourself out there, because now you could do a skit in your backyard and go viral and then tour the country off of that, when back in those days you had to grind out in these grimy comedy clubs for a long time and be funny enough to get your name out there for somebody from Hollywood to see you. That was always the goal, is to be at the Comedy Store and doing something at the Comedy Store, because that was the Garden of Eden, I guess. That's where they picked the fruit.
Yeah.
That's where they picked the fruit from for all of TV. Pretty much anybody that was on TV or anything in a comedic role.
It was basically
did
Carnegie Hall
Comedy
for
Store.
comedians, I mean, it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like
yeah.
the tip top place. Yeah.
I
It
mean,
was a
you
big
had
deal.
Second City, and then you had what was the one in Toronto?
SCT. That was Second City Television.
That was Second City.
But
The
they
one in
did
Chicago or whatever they had too.
that. Chicago was Second City.
That was Second City.
Toronto, I'm not sure what it was called, but a lot of those guys came down to
To
Second City.
SCTV.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then went back up and did that SCTV thing.
Yeah, whatever
Um,
they did, it was it's a
and then you got the Groundlings, and you got the other stuff
iconic
over in California.
iconic comedy guy for sure, Chris Elliott. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. Okay, so again, Khan is leaning on the Parade of Homes display. He says, "Oh, trying to impress your home like putting lingerie on a monkey. Better to save up your dog fighting money and buy ticket to Arlen Parade of Homes." So he said, number one, you live in an outhouse. Yes, Upright Citizens Brigade. Good catch, Artie.
There you go, Artie. Yeah.
He said, crescent moon on your outhouse. He said, putting lingerie on a monkey. And he said, save up your dog fighting money. I mean, that is a trifecta of burns on Hank in such a short amount of time.
On burn, yeah.
Hank says, I'll have you know, my house is part of Texas history. Yep. It was built by the great-grandson of Captain T. Anderson Kearney, who fired the first shot at the Battle of Gonzales. Hey, maybe I should enter my house in the Parade of Homes. And then from off screen, we hear, hey, who forgot to change the toilet paper? All right, now we transition over to the Hill House, and we've got all four in the bedroom with Peggy. So basically what they're doing is all five of them are looking through the house and trying to get it ready for Parade of Homes, right? Peggy says, this closet would look a lot bigger if you took out my shoes and replaced them with Nancy's. Well, yeah, I'm sure it would, Peggy, because you wear size 400s.
Yeah, she's got skis.
So let's see. Artie says soon Khan will do all of that and get into stick fighting.
Yeah.
Hank says, well, we don't need any Hollywood special effects for people to see what a great house we've got. Hey, maybe we can put T. Anderson Kearney's brass boot remover by the door. Kind of an explanation point for when people leave the room. So he moves that over by the door. Yeah. And then Boomhauer has this string of words that I'm not real sure what we're doing here. He says, talking about old house, beautiful man. Talking about dang old swim up, no pool bed, man. Talking about just dang old Wilt Stilt, man. See no double teams in his day.
Hell yeah,
what?
Dang old
What?
Wilt Stilt seen some double teams in his day. And if anybody knows
Chamberlain,
and if anybody knows anything about Wilt Chamberlain, there's that old story about how he had sex with hundreds of thousands of women.
Sure.
Yeah.
And Hank says, well, thanks, Boomhauer. I just hope people of the Parade of Homes say the same thing. No, you don't, because you have no idea what he said.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So all four of them walk down the hall, and they walk past Bobby's room, and they see Bobby dressed as a magician, as you will. And Bobby says, welcome to Bobby Hill's room. No flash photography on the trolls, please. And we see all of his those spike-haired troll dolls on his desk there. He's got a big collection of them.
Yeah, he does.
Hank steps in and says, hey, Bobby, you know what might spruce this room up? Nice display case for your troll action figures with solid wood doors, so people won't be tempted to steal them. He's like, okay. And then they say, aren't they called troll dolls? He's like, yes. He's just so defeated that his son has trolls in his room.
Man, he should get over himself.
It's all right. Later in Bobby's room, we got Hank and Bobby, and Hank's got the stud finder out, and he's finding the place to put the nail in the wall so that he can then hang up this little shelf he's built for the troll dolls, right?
Yep. The troll shelf.
Hank says, now watch closely, Bobby. This house is going to be yours someday, and you're going to need to know how to take care of it. He goes, can you hammer a nail in a single blow? This isn't the circus, Bobby. But I could.
He was talking about that's Mr. Miyagi.
Oh yeah. The bam,
the one hit, yeah.
So he hangs the little box up there, and assuming that Bobby's going to put all his trolls in it and stuff. Now we transition to the middle of the night. We hear Bobby in the other room screaming his head off. He's like, Dad, help me, I'm drowning. Hank wakes up, goes in there, and Bobby's bed's all wet. And he says, oh, Bobby, you had such a good few years. that's pretty good. Just assume that he peed in the bed. He goes, it wasn't me. The wall's leaking. And he just pans over and you see water coming down from where the nail went in the wall.
Which is Hank's worst nightmare.
Yeah, no kidding. He goes, good Lord, it looks like it's coming right out of the stud. And Bobby unlocks the case and he's talking to his trolls. It's okay, babies. Daddy's here. Now let's get you out of these wet clothes, which is so fucking creepy to these
Yeah, it
troll
is.
dolls.
That's awfully
Um,
creepy.
Hank gets his box cutter out and cuts a hole like a square in the wall right where it's leaking, so he can pull the sheetrock out and see what's going on back there.
Yep.
He pulls it out and he goes, "What kind of sick bastard runs a water pipe through a stud without installing a nail guard?" Bobby's like, "I don't know." She's very upset about it.
Yeah, he
All
was
right.
kinda upset there. Like, what am
The
I
ne-
supposed to know?
I don't know.
I don't know.
The next day, the insurance adjuster is over at the Hill House, and they're in there taking a look at it. He says, "Well, the water damage looks pretty minor. Yeah, at Lone Star Home and Casualty, we see some doozies. The Matthew McConaughey water weenie claim comes to mind." Hank says, "Yeah, well, what about my wall?" He goes, "Don't worry, Mr. Hill. We'll hire someone to come in here and get this wall fixed up before that Parade of Homes tour." He goes, "Oh, I don't really like strangers touching my walls. Maybe you could just pay me and I'll get the supplies and fix it myself." Sorry, but company regulations require we use licensed and bonded contractors. But I can absolutely assure you they do first rate. They do a first rate job. He goes, "Oh, okay." Says, "Now, would you like to be tested for mold while we're at it? We usually do one right. Right after any type of water damage. Won't cost you anything." Hank's like, "I guess, sure, go ahead." In comes Bobby holding his wet trolls, and he says, "Excuse me, do I need to file a claim for my loss?" Uh, Hank takes the trolls and he hands them to the guy, and he's looking him straight in the eye. And he says, "Yeah, you're going to have to give those to the insurance company so they can assess them properly." And he looks at him and he's like, "I'm sure you know what to do with them." Just like,
Yeah.
yeah, get rid of these freaking things. All right, now we transition to a little later. A lot of repair trucks driving up to the Hill House. They're all coming up through the driveway there.
Yeah, I don't know why
And
he needs that many repair trucks,
I don't
honestly.
either. It seemed like a lot. Yeah, the trolls
It
got
seemed
wet, Artie. That's
really
right.
excessive.
I don't know if you've ever been around a wet troll, but it ain't no way to live.
There ain't no way to be.
So the guys are sitting on Bobby's bed. There's a couple of guys there that have come in to do some repairs, and they're both sitting on Bobby's bed reading Teen People magazine while Hank gives them advice and actually works on the wall because he doesn't like
Alright.
people touching his wall. So he's like, "Don't leave any excess joint compound on the threads, and always wipe the pipes down when you're done as a courtesy to the next plumber. Now, let's see if that outlet needs rewiring." The guy tries to get up and he goes, "Oh, I'll do it. Just hand me that voltmeter." So the guy hands him the voltmeter. And then in comes another guy. And yes, Artie, I do not think trolls are like gremlins. However,
Yeah, no.
they do embody certain powers that I don't want to talk about here, but later on in like a DM situation, I could probably do that with you. Had a lot of close calls with trolls. Guy comes into Bobby's room and he goes, "Hi, I'm Steve Goodman." He comes in with a toolbox. He goes, "I'm here to check out the room for mold." Hank's like, "Huh, so that's what they use to test for it. Boy, I've never seen one of those before. You think I could give it a try, Steve?" He goes, "Nope." He just like holds this thing up in the air and then goes, "Okay, I'm done." And he just takes 2 seconds and then he leaves. He just puts it right back in his toolbox and leaves.
Yeah.
Hank turns around to the other guys and he's like, "Okay, who wants to turn off the circuit breaker?" "Too late, I call it." And he runs out of the room like it's just a special thing
Yeah.
to do. "Too late, I call it." All right, now we're in the car. It is Hank and Peggy, and they're driving around looking at Parade of Homes, just going down the tour route, trying to look at the other homes to figure out, how much they need to do to get their house ready to go.
Yeah.
Peggy says, "Now remember, Hank, the Parade of Homes is not a competition, but this is what we're up against." And they're parked in front of this 2-story house. It's got a ladder on it, so they're obviously getting it ready for the tour.
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, that's pretty nice for new construction." And they both pull out binoculars. They're like looking at the house in the car. Guy comes up to the window and he's like, "Can I help you?" He goes, yeah. We're in the Parade of Homes next week too. Hank Hill, single story, ranch style. We were just admiring your place. Nice shutters." The guy, he shakes his hand. The guy goes, "Well, thanks.
Yeah.
That means a lot coming from another parader. Still trying to get the place looking presentable. It's funny. I spent my whole life dreaming about owning my own house. Now all I dream about is the next thing. It needs to be painted, polished, or replaced." Hank's like, "Oh, I love those dreams. Like that just shows you the difference between Hank and everyone else in the world.
Everybody else, yeah.
Hank loves manual labor. All right.
Hank loves everything that nobody else loves.
No kidding, right? We're
Like
back at the Hill
Peggy.
House. That's true. Well, there's only one other guy that really loves Peggy.
Well, he doesn't really love Peggy, does he?
I don't know. I think he lusts Peggy and he wants any sort of relationship. That's really all it is.
I think so too. I think that he should read The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein.
All right, so we're back at the Hill House. Hank finishes up Bobby's wall. He is using like a fine tip paintbrush, like a little, like one you would paint figures with or something, to finish off the wall. He goes, "Oh, I hate to toot my own horn, but this wall looks pretty good. Let's enjoy it now before Bobby puts up that poster of babies dressed as strawberries." So I'm
Babies
assuming,
dressed as strawberries.
well, I'm assuming he's talking about those Ann Getty's photos, where she would put the babies in the lettuce and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's what he's talking about. That's
And I'm
still pretty
just,
funny, yeah.
well, and I'm thinking, why does an 11 to 12-year-old boy have a poster, an Ann Getty's poster on his wall? That makes
Yeah, I don't
no
know.
sense
That does not
whatsoever.
make a lick of sense. No, you're definitely right.
Peggy's in there and she goes, oh, she sees a guy outside Bobby's window. You know how he has that long window. She sees a
Yeah.
guy with a clipboard outside and she goes, "Hank, it's our first looky-loo." And you hear a knock at the door. They both go to the door and Hank's like, "Okay, be cool." To hear Hank say stuff like, "Okay, be cool," just it throws me for some
That
reason.
throws me too, yeah. Hank saying, "Let's
Okay,
be cool,"
be
when
cool.
Hank doesn't even know what cool is, yeah.
They both go to the door. He opens up the door and talks to the guy. He goes, "Welcome. Knock's pretty nice, doesn't she?" He's talking about the door. "That's solid oak hardwood. No pressed fiber there." Now notice and the guy stops him. And this is Chris Elliott. He says, "Whoa,
Yep.
whoa, whoa, whoa. You might want to just save that for someone who's not on the clock. I'm Rob Holgan, Technopure. Your insurance company sent me." He goes, "Oh, Hank Hill, what can I do for you?" He goes, "You can put your hand down and step 2 feet away from me. You may be contaminated." He goes, "What?" He says, "Your house is tested positive for mold." He goes, "Yeah, you might want to not take such a deep breath." And that is our first
You
commercial
might not
break.
want to take a deep breath.
We are going to take that and we will be
Right back.
Join the Daily High Club, the premier destination for glass water pipes, vaporizers, and accessories. Since 2015, we've sold over 1 million quality products and teamed up with legends like Snoop Dogg and Tommy Chong. Ready to elevate your smoking game? Visit dailyhighclub.com for our El Primo subscription box or shop unique pieces today.
Discover the world of luxury sex toys at Luxury Toy X and indulge in the ultimate pleasure experience. For years, we have been dedicated to the belief that sexuality and wellness are essential components of a happy and healthy life. With over 70,000 satisfied customers, we take pride in our ability to provide products that enhance your sexual well-being. Join our community of satisfied customers and unlock a world of pleasure and self-discovery. Visit luxurytoyx.com today.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress, that helps you calm down and feel better. You sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
I'm Hunter, the founder of Hello Cake, and today we're digging into ED meds. The number one thing we hear is that guys are sick of waiting for ED meds to kick in. Traditional ED meds take about an hour to kick in as they have to go through your digestive system, where Hello Cake's ED medication dissolves under your tongue and works in about 15 minutes. That's about 3 times faster than traditional ED medication. Curious about ED meds? Go to hellocake.com.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
Baby girl, were you staring at me? You know that's not convincing, right? Try again. Well, you shouldn't just be staring then. You should taste.
All right, and we are
All
back.
right, and we're back, just like that.
We're still at the Hill House. All right, just I'm going to break the fourth wall here just a tad. We don't have the commercials because I am making new ones because I'm tired of seeing all the ones we had. So I'm making new commercial breaks. All right, so then those are the commercial breaks you just saw. So congratulations, you've seen the newest ones, including the weird anime AI chat company that we're advertising now. All right. We're back at the Hill House, still in Bobby's room. Hank says all three of them are in there now. Hank and the guy, and I believe Peggy's in there. But he says, "I've got mold." Well, that can't. I mean, how does God? Is it hot in here? I'm really hot. Like Hank gets really uncomfortable because he thinks he has mold.
He's very, very uncomfortable because it's Hank. Why would he have mold? Like,
True.
you know, he's not a fan of.
He's not a fan of anything, honestly.
Well, he's not a fan of like people shitting on his home. Like he prides himself in having taken care of it, and now there's something wrong.
Yeah. The guy says, Mrs. Hill, maybe you could get him a chair. Like he looks like he's going to faint. Hank, he goes, I'm going to make a small exploratory incision so I can have a little look-see here. He cuts a hole in the wall by the outlet. This is the exact same wall that Hank just finished. He goes, there she blows, my great green whale aspergillus. And he pulls out like this little chunk, and it's got fuzzy stuff on it.
Yes, it does.
He goes, you're lucky you caught this leak early before the mold really spread. And Hank says, I've got green stuff inside my walls and I'm lucky. He goes, relax, Mr. Hill. Rob Holgan is going to do everything it takes to get rid of this mold. And your insurance is going to pick up the tab. Isn't that funny how everybody's just like, insurance covered it. Well,
insurance will take care of it.
Who pays for insurance? We do. He says insurance is going to pick up the tab. He goes, everything from fractional or frictional irrigation with a concealed chlorine solution to forced atmospheric dehydration. Hank, being smart enough, says, so wait, you're saying you're going to rub it with bleach and then blow dry it? He says, well, in layman's terms, yes. He goes, well, I got some bleach and a fan. I could probably do it myself. He goes, every joker with a bottle of Clorox and a Vornado thinks he's an expert. Look, unless this job is done by a certified mold expert, such as myself, your insurance company will drop you like, well, I'd drop this. And he's holding that little piece. He goes, but then there'd be mold on your floor. Peggy says, Hank, let him do it. He's a professional. Hank's like, can you guys get it done in 2 days? The house is on the parade of homes. This is the kind of thing they take a picture of and put on their blooper reel. Not sure there's a tour of homes blooper reel, but okay.
Yeah.
The guy says, well, lucky for you, aspergillus is my specialty. I should have it calling me daddy in no time. Why does everybody want to be called daddy in this episode?
I don't know. It's kind of different.
Bobby calls himself that. This guy calls himself that. Peggy says, so are we okay to stay here like this? He goes, okay. Well, that's a medical question, Miss Hill. I'm not a medical doctor. Now I'll need you both to sign this waiver, which certifies I've informed you that that's a medical question and I'm not a medical doctor. So they go to sign the thing. Now it's night at the Hill House. We're in the living room. Bobby's trying to sleep on the couch while they're in there watching TV and reading some stuff. Peggy says, Hank, listen to this. Mold has been known to cause itchiness, asthma, chronic fatigue, and disorientation. Bobby, quick, what's your middle name, huh? What's my birthday? Here, follow my finger. And Bobby sits up and he's like, your birthday is, I don't know. And she goes, Hank, mold's got him. He says,
mold's got him.
He said, help me, Dad. I mean,
that's what we need. We need a shirt with mold on it that says mold's got him.
Hank, the mold's got him.
Mold's got him.
Hank says, oh, well, you two just calm down. Now it's just a little patch of mold. We'll let Holguin do his job and everything will be fine. And the boy will never knew your birthday, Peggy. He's always just piggybacking on my card. All right. Next day in the alley, we got all 4 guys there. There's some men wheeling in like some big institutional size fans and stuff as the guys kind of watch. They fade over and Dale's on the very end. He's standing there with what I can only call is a yellow trash bag over his head that's secured at the bottom, and it has a little filter right here in the front, kind of like a gas mask.
Yeah.
But I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen like a big yellow bag you put over your head.
That's different. Yeah, I've not seen that one before either. Yeah,
that's extremely different. I was in the boxes. That anime AI chat ad was super cool. Yeah, it looked just like us, didn't it? All right. So they're wheeling in these fans and all this stuff, and you hear Hank say, "Yep," and then you hear, "Yep," mm-hmm. And then, as if it came from Darth Vader, we hear, "Yep," because he's got his head in that stupid bag. But
Yeah.
he has put the Alamo beer can inside the bag with him. So that means he has to hold the beer can the whole time in the
Well, he got
bag.
that
while
part
this-
at least, yeah.
Yeah. He goes, Dale, take that thing off. We're perfectly safe here in the alley. Heck, we'd all be perfectly safe if we slept in Bobby's room. He goes, and Bill, of course, hearing slept, goes, a sleepover? I'll get my jammies. He goes, don't let him in, Hank. With his foot fungus, he'd just be tracking in more mold into the house. That area between his toes is rich and fertile as the Nile Delta.
Ew.
Bill, well, we see it here in a few minutes. Bill says, can we still have a sleepover? I'll hang my feet out the window. Then from Khan's yard, we see Khan over the fence. He's on a ladder and he has a megaphone in his hand. And he says, attention, mold patient 0. I know your house not good enough for Parade of Homes. Maybe next month, Parade of Toxic Waste Dump. Good burn again. Khan,
A decent one.
Cotton,
I like
Khan getting in some great burns this one. Later, we're inside Bobby's room. It's the mold guy and Peggy and Hank. And he goes, what? How could we still have mold? I thought you said you got rid of it. He goes, I did from the leak. But there must be a secondary infestation. The latest sample from this room showed an airborne mold level of 500 parts per cubic meter. And then he just takes this big, almost looks like a cattle prod, and he starts stabbing the wall a few times, right?
Yeah, he does.
And Hank's just like, he goes, nothing. He goes, what are you doing? He goes, I can't get rid of the other mold until I find it, Mr. Hill. And insurance regulations require that we reduce the level of mold in here to that found in the air outdoors, 400 parts per cubic meter. So the guy said that it had 500 parts per cubic meter. And then what we got to get it to is 400 parts.
400, which is
that's
insane.
Crazy. So stupid. And then you hear Peggy say 400, and she looks out the window and she goes, Bobby, quick, get inside. She goes, no. I mean, stay outside. Get in the car and turn on the air conditioner now. Poor Bobby. He didn't know which way to go.
Yeah, I feel bad for Bobby. He always gets caught up in these weird shenanigans.
And by the way, he drops his bike and just runs. The guy says, Miss Hill, it's okay. 400 parts per cubic meter is like a fly speck in a big gulp cup. Hank's like, wait. It sounds like there's almost no difference between the air in here and the air outside. What's the problem? The guy says, I can try to explain it to you, but if you want this place ready in time for that Parade of Homes, it'd probably make more sense for me to do my job. And he just starts poking the wall. And then finally,
what could he explain to him?
I don't know. Here in a minute, we find out that it's all just a scam. He starts poking the wall.
Scam, blam, bam.
The tool finally beeps. And he goes, oh, thank God. I thought this thing was broken. So he was just jamming stuff into his wall, thinking his tool was broken. And then finally it went off. And he's like, oh, great. All right. So now we're going through the closet in the bedroom. I'm sorry. Later, the guy takes a Sawzall to the wall and cuts out another giant square, right? He goes, there's the culprit, Alterninia. You're not so tough now without your bloody stack of boitress, are you? And he's talking to the mold, right?
Yeah.
Hank's like, are you sure that's even mold? It could just be an old dust bunny. I wish it were a dust bunny. In fact, I wish this whole damn wall were full of real bunnies. What? But this looks like mold that's been in here for 20 years. What's on the other side of this wall? Peggy's like, our bedroom. So then they're in their bedroom now, and they're going through the closet, which we find out their closet back wall butts up to Bobby's wall that's leaking.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
So we find that out because the guy's in there cutting a hole out. Peggy looks at Hank and says, remember that night I thought I heard something? You said it was nothing? Well, thank you. You just signed my death warrant. I mean, Jesus, you just signed my death warrant. Yeah. She smacks Hank on the arm. He goes, if we've been sleeping in this room or mold for 20 years, how come we've never had itching or asthma or any of those other problems we read about?
Because there's nothing wrong with you.
And that's exactly right. The guy says, well, that's probably because the government hasn't found a scientific link between mold and any known health problems yet. He goes, then why do you keep banging holes in my wall? Because I'm the hunter. Mold is my antelope. And if I don't bang holes in your wall, my conscience bangs holes in my head.
Mold is my antelope.
I don't know. He pulls out
What
his
the
cell phone
fuck?
and he calls somebody and he goes, Hogan here. I need backup. I got a buy room situation at Rainy Street. Later, we see a bunch of clean suits and
Yeah,
equipment and guys coming in.
actually, my job, we have to wear clean suits.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, to work in a certain area or whatever
Yeah.
of what I do, you have to
Mhm.
put on, you have to, well, first you change out in the locker room in a pair of scrubs, and you take a second set of scrubs with you. So
Yeah.
what you wear into the changing room, you take that off and put on a fresh pair of scrubs, and then you have 2 sets of booties on your over your shoes, and then you walk into another room. You got to grab mask, a hood, full gown, boot covers that go over your shoes or whatever, shoe covers, and then you walk into another room. You're spraying everything with alcohol, all the outsides of all of the stuff that you're going to open, on your hands.
Yeah.
All of the stuff that you're going to be use has been blasted with radiation to kill anything. It doesn't hold radiation, so we're not like being exposed
Right.
to it.
Sure.
But they use UV to kill all potential bacteria
Yeah.
before they cover the new packaging up or whatever. And it has expiration dates. It's really not that intense. It's just what I do is like a limit. There's like 3,000 people in the United States that do it, and it's just it's just very strict rules because
Yeah.
it's FDA regulated, and FDA regulates drugs stricter than food. I've worked in both regulatory like underneath the FDA under 2 different regulation rules. Like I've been in food and I've been in drugs. So like the drugs is way stricter than the food stuff. And that's a part of it is you have to be in what they call an aseptic environment. There has to be nothing living but you. You're the only thing that's allowed to be alive in that space kind of thing. And they clean with a lot of bleach and alcohol and stuff like
Sure.
that. So it was just relatable. That was just I just wanted to that whole bodysuit thing. You have to be in it. You have to be in it for 12 hours a day in 4-hour increments. You got to be in it for 4 hours. Only can be in it for 4 hours based on company regulation. Like the manager's like the longest you could be in it's 5 hours. Anything over that, and you could actually get in trouble for being in it too long.
Yeah. I was in a box says reminds me of that Breaking Bad episode with the fly. Yep, I know.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of which,
I just
Vince Gilligan is on a roll with TV shows apparently.
What's he got? Oh, you
That
talking
one
about
that you
Pluribus?
watched.
Yeah,
the one that you're watching.
definitely.
Yeah.
I thought maybe there was another one and I'd missed it. I was
Nah,
panicked.
you're on the cutting edge of
I
Vince
need
Gilligan technology right now.
speaking of t-shirts, I would like a t-shirt for this show that says I've been in food, I've been in drugs, Rusty.
There you go.
Right? That's a good one.
There you go. I like that one.
Been in food,
like
I've been
that
in
one.
drugs, Rusty.
I've done them both.
Yeah, that's like a Tuesday.
Well, actually,
all right.
I've done them both.
That's what I'm saying.
I used to smoke a lot of weed and make food at Taco Bell when I was a teenager. So
There you
I've
go.
done food and drugs.
And in Taco Bell, anything can live while you're working. It's fine.
There you go. Yeah, there's lots of live things. Yeah.
Later, guys in clean suits are bringing in equipment, and there's guys inside ripping wallpaper off the walls, taping up entries. There's just people everywhere in these clean suits, right? And Hank
Absolutely.
and the family are just like standing around like, what the hell is going on? Hank says, hey, scrape that more carefully, will you? It's a wall, not a pumpkin. I don't know what he means by that, but all right.
I don't either. I was
The
kinda
guy
curious myself.
scrape a pumpkin. The guy, I guess he's talking the inside. But the guy comes up and he goes, whoa, you're going to have to stay out of the hot zone. That's both bedrooms and the master bath. He goes, but where are we going to? And then the guy in a clean suit comes up and goes, automatic ice maker, house is hot, aspergillus. He goes, all right, that does it. Everybody out now. By the way, whenever he says the house is hot, he says dog house is hot, and he's carrying Ladybird under his arm.
Doghouse would
Dog-
have been the Buckingham Palace, a
Dog
Barkingham
house is
Palace.
hot. Yes.
Aspergillus was first cataloged in 1729 by an Italian priest and biologist underneath the name Pier Antonio Micheli, and he viewed the fungi underneath a microscope. Micheli was reminded of the shape of an aspergillum. An aspergillum is a holy water sprinkler. It's from the Latin word spargere, which means to sprinkle. so they call it aspergillum. It's actually an asexual spore forming structure, and it doesn't need anything else to reproduce. It just needs to be fed.
Huh? Isn't that something? Look
As
at
long as
Rusty
it's
with the
being
mold
fed,
back.
it'll go with it. Yeah.
So
If you ever need anybody for bar trivia,
yeah, I think between you and I, we could cover it.
I
don't
think we
think
could kill
have
it.
any
I think we
problem.
could. I really think we could.
We bring Zach with us. It's 100%.
Oh yeah, it's over. Yeah, it's definitely done. His
So
comic book knowledge is pretty elite. Like, I've met a lot of comic book guys that know a lot about comic books,
yeah.
but the fact that he can find something new every time for y'all
Yeah.
show
Yeah.
is mind-boggling. There are that many comics out there that you could go forever, but the fact that he's able to find good ones, I
well,
like
and then
it.
he reads every one of them, and he reads it multiple times, and he's ready to go. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
And I really like the prints he does.
Yeah, yeah, he does a good job.
Printing, yeah, the print shop.
All right, so now the guy has said that the whole place is doomed, right? Because he's carrying the dog.
Absolutely.
Hank's like, all right, that does it. Everybody out now. All stop and look at him, and then they just start again. They don't even pay any attention to him. He goes, hey, hold on. I said stop. The guy comes up and goes, Mr. Hill, I understand you're upset, but you really don't want us out of your house. He goes, yes, I do. He goes, okay, but if I get in this walkie-talkie and call in a code Charlie, my guys will be out of here in 30 seconds, 36 seconds flat. That's how long it'll take for your house to become worthless. He goes, what?
That's ridiculously specific, yeah.
No kidding. He goes, look, you've been informed there's mold in this house, which means if you ever want to sell this property, he goes, I don't want to sell. I plan on passing this house down to my son. This is when I knew it was Chris Elliott. He goes, oh, goody gumdrops. Thanks, Dad. A worthless
That's how I
mold
knew it was him too, yeah.
Yeah. He goes, do you have any pet birds, Mr. Hill? He goes, no. He goes, good. And that's the end of that interaction, which I thought was weird.
Yeah, that's it. Well, it's supposed to be weird. It's what's his name? Yeah, he's a weird guy. Yeah, Chris Elliott. Yeah, he's a weird guy.
Later on, the house is just in shambles. Like, I mean, it's just torn up. Everything's in boxes, moved around, all this stuff. And all three of them, Hank, Peggy, and Bobby, are sitting on the couch, just surrounded by junk, right? And they can't really go anywhere. They can't move around. They can't do anything because they've told them they can't do anything. And then Bobby says, can 3 family members share a living room without driving each other crazy? Which I'm assuming is kind of like the real world, right? That's kind of like the real world. He goes, Bobby, I've asked you several times to stop making that joke. Now go to your room. This is my favorite part of this episode. Bobby gets up off the couch, walks about 3 steps over, sits on a milk crate. He's in his room. So, so good. All right. So now Hank is in the shower and for some reason, he's counting. He's like 18.
I don't know why, but yeah, he
19, 20. And then boom, the shower curtain comes open. And he goes, Mr. Hill, you got to get out. It's a guy in the clean suit. Now, this is the mold guy that he's been talking to, the one played by Chris Elliott. But he's in a clean suit now. And he goes, Mr. Hill, you got to get out. And he goes, you get out. He goes, your old house is contaminated. The negative air environment's been compromised. He goes, the what? He goes, there's no time to explain how it wasn't my fault. Now move. How it wasn't my fault. Now move. The towel could be filthy with mold. And so he gives him one of those gowns that you wear in the hospital. All right.
Yeah.
He goes, go. Forget the toys. The insurance company will pay for everything. Makes Bobby drop his toys. He goes, now move. They go out to the yard. We see that Hank's ass is hanging out of this thing because it's a hospital gown. And then from over the fence, I believe this is the same fence that Con came over. Maybe it's the front yard. I don't know. But you hear Dale say, leave it to you to make a hospital gown look unsexy, Hank. I've never looked at a hospital gown and thought,
I haven't either.
All right. While they're all standing out there, Hank is wet in a hospital gown with his ass hanging out. Bobby's in his PJs. Peggy is in a nightgown. The Parade of Homes van drives up. The same guy gets out that they complimented his shutters. And he says, this says it's 123 Rainy Street. This is on the Parade of Homes? That can't be right. And then he sees Hank standing over there in the hospital gown, mind you. And he goes, Hank? He goes, oh, God, no, the Parade of Homes. Is today the 5th? So he walks up in front of this crowd. There's like
Ooh.
6 or 8 people that get out of this stupid van, and they're all going on this parade of tour, or this tour of the parade of homes. And he goes, "Oh, this ranch style Rambler with upgrades to the doors and windows and roof was built by the great grandson of T." And Dale comes over and he's got a camera. He steps in front of the group and goes, "Smile, Hank. I want to get a picture of you next to the mold." Like,
That's fucked up.
if I were Hank
Yeah.
at this point, I'm like, Dale,
I'd probably punch you.
never see you in my yard, around my house, or around me ever again.
Yeah, I'd have to hit him.
Oh my God. Well, that is our second commercial break. We will take that and we'll be
right back.
You got it.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated. Each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Since 2003, we've been connecting buyers and sellers, providing access to sold-out events at prices lower than most secondary market options. Whether it's sports, theater, or concerts, our massive nationwide network ensures you get the tickets you want, guaranteed. For the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. That's TICKETLIQUIDATOR.com. Ticket Liquidator.
And we're back. Lovely new commercial break you just saw. Plenty of products. Please go check them out. All the links are in our description. So we're at the hotel or the Motel Arlen. The L is missing off of the sign. Obviously, it is a very rundown place. But then on the thing where they always say, you know, here's what's coming up, or free HBO or whatever, it says, "Welcome, Cigarenders" on sign. So the Cigarenders, that's where they meet now. You remember when they were trying to quit cigarettes? You know, they went to the
remember when they were trying to quit smoking cigarettes. Yeah.
I love the fact that it's a capital C, a lowercase I, capital
Absolutely.
G, capital A, lowercase r, and the rest of it's capitalized. It's fantastic. They go in and it's a god awful filthy room, and I have stayed in these kind of hotel rooms or motels.
I have too. In my teens, my late teens, like 17, 18, I've been to every McDonald's in Texas almost. And we would stay in these little towns. Well, we were it was work for work, obviously, but we were doing countertops, and I've been to pretty much every one of them in Texas almost, maybe a handful that I haven't, but I've been to hundreds of them. And we would have to stay in these small towns. So we would be in these little podunk towns. Like there's a town called Winnie out in East Texas that has no type of like major hotel company that's there. There is no Hilton or Sheraton or nothing like that. So you can't get a good hotel. You have to go with whatever roadside motels that still exist in these towns. And some of them that you end up staying in are generally not the best place to stay in, you know?
I was in a box says I've been to every McDonald's in Texas is a crazy cool flex.
I honestly, there's probably like a handful that I haven't been to in the Panhandle, but everything from pretty much North Texas, West, East, and South, I've been to tons
I've
of.
been to that 2 or 3 level one in Nevada that is really weird. The one where
I've
they
been
still serve
to
spaghetti and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, I've been to the one with the what do they call it? Turquoise arches. So
Mm.
in
Yeah, in Albuquerque
Sedona, no
or
Sedona.
Sedona. Okay.
In Sedona, Arizona, they have
Was it in
certain
Arizona? I thought it was in New Mexico.
no, Sedona's in
Oh,
Arizona.
okay. Yeah.
Uh,
No. I meant the teal.
there might be
Thing.
another one, but the one that I saw specifically was in Sedona,
Yeah.
Arizona. And what it is Sedona has
Crazy rules about the
certain
signs and
rules
stuff, right?
about
Yeah.
signage and stuff. So everything
Yeah.
has to look a certain way. There has to be that there's what do they say? There's 7 or 8, something like that, that are non-standard McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like so McDonald's has weird different McDonald's, but there's only 7 of them in the world that are different.
Sure.
So what it is a lot of multi-billion-dollar companies had come into Sedona before and said, "Hey, we want to, open a business here." But they're
Mhm.
like, "Well, the sign has to be like this. You have to use these colors on your building. It has to match the red rock or complement the red rock."
Right.
And McDonald's is the pretty much they have Burger King, they have a couple of others, but Burger King is pretty much one of the only places in the world that McDonald's agreed to change their golden arch just because they wanted to have their presence there. So it's like Sedona
Yeah.
is one of the only cities in the world that a multi-billion-dollar company will capitulate and agree to alter their
Yeah.
main big
Well,
signs just
it's
because
a
they want
big
to be
crowd.
there.
There's a lot of
It's a
people there in
big
that city.
city. Well, it's
Yeah.
not a big city, but it's a big travel city. There's a lot of people that pass through there,
Yeah.
and they have a lot of hippy dippy shit that goes on. So there's a lot
Yeah.
of this thing out in the West where they have these like they call them like portals or whatever, and there's like weird stuff,
Mm.
geologic like geomagnetic stuff that happens in those
Mhm.
areas, crystals and all that. That's a
Yeah.
big thing in Sedona is that holistic. I don't even know what you call it. I call it hippy dippy. What
Yeah, I know
I don't
what
even
you're
think
saying.
it's hippie, but whatever it is, it's the stars have to align with your chakras, and you have to let the
Your
sun
third
shine
eye,
in your
all that stuff.
butthole and all
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
sure, sure. The worst motel room I've ever been in was in Nashville. A buddy and I took a road trip I'm sorry, it was Memphis. We took a road trip to Graceland
Okay.
one
Yeah, I like
time.
Graceland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got there late. And so we found this little hole in the wall motel place. I think it was $15 to stay, something like that.
Yeah.
And we walked in, and the whole place smelled like Raid, like super bad. And then I walked into the bathroom. There was a hole in the ceiling, probably the size of about a 2 or 3 ceiling tiles, just a hole. And
Yeah.
then down below that, big pile of dog food in the floor.
Oh
And
wow,
so,
that's crazy.
yeah, it's rough. We heard some gunshots in the middle of the night out in the alley. And my buddy walked back to the hotel room from Gillies that we went to up the street because I came back and I was tired. He came back in the middle
Yeah.
of the night. It was about 3 a.m., came banging on the door. He had walked home and took a wrong turn, went through a train yard, and had some hobos chase him and steal his shoes. So there you go.
Wow.
It's the
Watch
worst
out
place
for the
I've ever stayed
hobos
in.
in Nashville.
Yeah, they'll steal your shoes.
They'll
All
steal your
right.
damn shoes.
So they go into this terrible, terrible motel room. And the first thing we see is Lady Bird, and she sniffs and she kind of whimpers. And Hank says, "I know, girl." And then next, it's just a little bit later, and they've settled into the motel room now. Peggy is over there reading a pamphlet called "So You've Got Mold." And she says, "Hey, what do you know? Aaron Brockovich has mold. And Ed McMahon. Oh, he killed his dog Muffin. Well, maybe we'll meet him at a survivors group." Which is
In a
just
survivors
fantastic.
group? Yeah.
Mold survivors group. Met with Shemaine.
Yeah.
He says, if Lone Star Home and Casualty is so interested in looking for mold, he's on the phone, by the way. You should start with this room. It was growing on the soap. The guy at the insurance company, the one who came out first, is saying, I'm afraid there's nothing I can do about the mold in your hotel, Mr. Hill. They don't have a policy with Lone Star, so there's no potential liability on our end. He hangs up. We hear a bunch of yelling from next door. You know how these motels are. The walls are
rough.
paper thin.
Paper
You can
thin.
hear people screaming and
Yeah, you
all
can
kinds
smell
of
the
shit.
drugs the other people are frying in the
Oh,
other room.
my
Yeah, it's
God,
a rough place.
And Peggy says they're arguing again, Hank, or making love. And then from the other side of the wall, you hear, "You pig, is that what you wanted?" She goes, "Oh, making love." Is that how you figure that out? So then they look over at the door. The door just opens to their room. And there's this really strung out looking dude standing there. And he goes, yeah, hey, you got a busted latch there, neighbors. Yeah, anyway, my lady and I were wondering if you'd care to join us for a Lynchburg lemonade. Hank's like, thank you, but we were just about to sit down to dinner.
What the hell is a Lynchburg lemonade at that? I gotta look that up.
Well, I think it's lemonade with Jack Daniels, I believe is what it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Because
yeah. It says
Kentucky.
here it's a Tennessee.
Tennessee,
It says that's the home of the Jack Daniels distillery. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It says it's a refreshing citrusy cocktail made with Tennessee whiskey, triple sec, lemon juice, and lemon lime soda. It is named after Lynchburg. Okay, I've never heard of that. That's a cocktail I've never heard of. I've heard a lot of cocktails, but I've never heard of the Lynchburg lemonade. Hell yeah.
So he leaves, and then through the wall, you hear the same guy go, "There, I invited him. You happy now?" They're screaming. Peggy goes, "Okay, who's ready for Peggy Hill's coffee maker ramen, huh?" And she pulls up the coffee pot, and she's got some ramen and some water in it. It just looks freaking awful.
Yeah.
We transition to nighttime at the Motel Arlen. It's like a Jack Daniels margarita, Artie says. Kinda, yeah. It's really just, in a lot of places, they'll just throw some lemonade in there, like some country time lemonade and some whiskey. It's night at the Motel Arlen. It's lit up now, the sign is, and we can see that the E is burned out and the L is still gone. So they are in the bed sleeping, and they're sleeping head to toe, right? So feet up, head on the other end, that kind of thing. It is 6:03 a.m. and we hear a bunch of really, really loud music come in, right? And Bobby kind of wakes up a little bit. Hank looks at him. He goes, "You'd think the music that loud would kill the bugs, but it doesn't." Bobby says, "I tried sleeping in the empty swimming pool, but the dogs." He goes, "Can I go home now? I promise I'll put on one of those spacesuits." He looks over at the Hank looks around the room, he's still kind of waking up. He looks over and he sees the boot guard that they brought from his house. For some reason, they brought the boot guard. Hank says, "Dang it, Bobby! If T. Anderson Kearney could fight to give Texans a home, then I can fight to get yours back. Rob Holguin is going to need to use a boot remover on his ass when I'm done with him." So Hank is
I like that
up.
one. He's going to need a boot remover.
Hank is fired up.
I like when he gets fired up. He's probably my favorite character when he gets mad. Yeah.
Well, and he's about
it's just the sayings they have really good writing for him when he gets mad. Like, "I'm gonna get a boot remover to remove a boot from your ass." I don't know why that's funny. It's just hilarious.
Well, he's also about to get very crafty here with the way that he comes out on this guy. The next thing we see, he is at Techno-Pure Incorporated. That is the company that comes out and removes the mold from your house. He goes up to the secretary and he says, "Hello, I'd like to speak to Mr. Hogan." She goes, "Sorry, he's at lunch. Can I take a message?" He goes, "You don't have enough room on that while you were out pad for me for what I have to say." And so he walks.
That kind of stuff like that. You don't have
really
enough
good.
room.
Yeah.
You ain't got enough room in that pad there for what I got to say. You better find somebody. Yeah.
He starts to walk out and he walks by a cafeteria, right? So this place is big enough to have a freaking cafeteria in it. And he sees the insurance. He sees the insurance guy and the guy from Techno-Pure sitting there eating together, and the tester guy. So he goes and he says, "All right, Holguin, I'm through with you." And then he looks over and he goes, "Hey, you're the mold tester guy, Mr. Goodman. Well, what are you two doing together?" Then in comes the insurance guy holding a tray. And he goes, "Hey, guys, just put all the stuff out to make your own sundaes." And he goes, "My insurance adjuster? This is ridiculous. You're all in on this scam together, aren't you?
Yeah.
All you guys care about." Yeah. He goes, "All you guys care about is money. Okay, fine. How much to get rid of you? He looks over and he sees an ATM. He goes, is that a Cirrus machine? Which I faintly remember Cirrus. And the guy says, this is the insurance guy talking, the guy that's been so nice to him. He says,
I
yeah,
remember
but
Cirrus. Yeah, Cirrus was like a bank service or something,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
He goes, yeah, but it'll, he goes, is that a Cirrus machine? Talking about the ATM. And he goes, yeah, but it'll only let you take out $300 a day. That's just not going to cut it. The guy played by Chris Elliott says, nope, not when you get a deal sweet as ours. What I don't understand is how quickly they gave up this scheme, right? They gave it up to Hank.
Immediately gave it up to
Just
him.
like
They didn't even try. They didn't even try to like
Didn't even try to
hide it
cover
from him or nothing, which is kind of shady.
Very shady. The guy says, nope, not when you got a deal sweet as ours. Heck, I could throw a dart at a phone book, and I bet you that house would test positive for mold. And the phone book, too. The other guy says, say that other thing you say, Rob, about the yeehaw. He goes, oh, yeah, yeehaw, there's gold in them there walls. All of them laughed with Hank.
That is kind of funny. I like that.
Hank's like, yeah, buddy, I got you. Yeah, we're going to take care of this. So it's nighttime at Megalomart. Hank is there. He comes up to one of the workers and he says, excuse me, sir, I'm looking for no pest strips for both crawling and flying pests. The motel I'm staying in is a little dreary. So if you see the ones that look, a little festive, that'd be good. Festive fly strips. Yeah, pest strips. He goes, oh, hell yeah, dude. We got the ones with snowflakes. We got the ones with burrows on them. I mean, they're all pretty beautiful. He's walking over to these things, over to the no pest strips, and he walks by a display of books. They are the contractor books or whatever, the home repair books, right?
Yeah.
And there's several of them there. One of them says become a certified plumber. One of them says become a certified electrician. Bless you again, Rusty. Says
thank you.
And then
yeah, my allergies are crazy.
Yeah, it's nasty right now. He comes across the last book and it says Introduction to Mold and Mold Abatement. And then at the bottom, it's got a little, one of those starburst things that always like, and, added bonus. And it says certified kit included or certification kit included.
Yeah, certification kit. Yeah.
All right. So he gets an idea. Now we're at the mold guy's house. The guy played by Chris Elliott, right? He's in his kimono and he's feeding his large goldfish or koi. And he hears the doorbell ring and he goes, I'm coming. He opens the door and Hank and Bill are there. They have a kit with them and they're both in green jackets, right? He goes, morning, Mr. Holgan. I was wondering if we could have a word. He goes, oh, yeah, sure. Come in. Love to show you my new flat screen TV. Just got it. Hank says, so, Mr. Holgan, I thought I'd come over here and ask you one more time politely to please leave my house alone. And they're all sitting down now. So Hank and Bill are on the couch. The other guy's in the chair. And he goes, sorry, Mr. Hill, I just ordered a new couch. That big TV just makes this one look so dinky. Hank says, well, at least I tried. He goes, hey, Bill, why don't you make yourself more comfortable? He goes, thank you, Hank. And he starts taking off his boots, like taking off the nasty ass feet out. Yeah. He takes his gross ass feet out and he goes, oh, I almost forgot to tell you. I just got myself certified as a trained mold expert. Took me 30 minutes. He goes, oh, great. Maybe I'll see you at our conference in Aspen. But, the insurance company will never let you test your own house and pass it. Now, that would be a clear conflict of interest. He goes, oh, I know that. I'm gonna test your house. He goes, Bill, you ready? Bill goes, ready. And he puts his gross ass feet up on the coffee table and they are just crusted. They're crusted in moldy
Absolutely
feet.
Disgusting.
The guy says, ew. He goes, yeah, pretty gross, huh? With fungus and all. Hey, is fungus a mold? Let's find out. And he takes the little fungus or the mold detector and sticks it down by Bill's feet. And he goes, whoa there. No. Take it easy. Okay, let's just talk about this. Hey, you're testing right near his feet. He goes, oh, sorry, I'm new at this. But after I send the results to your insurance company, I'm sure they'll send someone out here and they'll do a more thorough search. He goes, punch a few holes in your wall, rip up your floorboards.
Yeah.
I heard 9 out of 10 houses have mold. He goes, but who knows? Maybe you'll be one of the lucky ones, just like the dude told him. And he goes, okay, what do you want? Next thing we see, we're at the Hill house. They're cleaning up. The mold guy, the tester, they're all taking stuff out.
He just wants everybody to fuck out of his house.
Getting them out of his house. The mold guy and the tester guy are the only ones left there. He goes, okay, Mr. Hill, you passed. Your house is officially mold free. Goodbye. He goes, oh, now hold on. We're not quite done yet. You two owe me a parade. And so Hank goes into what he would have said at the Parade of Homes tour.
That's
He
funny.
walks over to the side and he's like, does a whole presentation. So if you'll just
Yeah.
step this way, and I know you will, come on, Bobby, let's show them this house that's going to be yours someday. He goes, this ranch style rambler was built by the great grandson of T. Anderson Kearney. You might want to put your case down. This is going to take a while. He says, now, the funny thing about this boot remover, well, not so much funny as educational, is that it was owned by the man who fired the first shot at the Battle of Gonzales. And that is our credits. That is
And
the
that
end
is
of
it.
the episode. After the credits, we hear Dale in the Darth Vader voice. Yep. And that's it. That is season 8,
it.
episode 6.
That was a good one.
After the Mold Rush. That is a very good one. Yeah.
I like
And
that one. That's funny.
I love how Hank has his comeuppance at the end there. You know, he gives it to that guy.
He gets it. Yeah, he gets him.
All right. Well, that is all for us on this one.
That's it.
Monday episode. We're scooting through season 8.
Season 8.
Rusty, you want to tell them where they can find us if they're looking for more?
If you're looking for more, you can go to BWAAAKOTH on all social media. We would like it if you would upgrade your lifestyle in 2026 and come over and hang out with us on YouTube. If you're listening to us anywhere else, come on over to youtube.com/at BWAAAKOTH. Go to our Facebook page and add us there too at BWAAAKOTH and get involved in the community. Post some stuff, share some stuff. For those of you that do or are on our Facebook page, post some stuff, share some stuff. Let's get some community engagement going in 2026. Let's get it going.
Tanya, Artie. I was in a box says, I love how it ends with the mold dude still continuing to scam everyone else. Yeah, and that's pretty true.
Yeah.
That's pretty true. They just keep on doing what they're doing.
Too.
Well, guys, thank you very much. We appreciate all of you being here. Anytime you guys are here, it's a better day. And we would not have gone this far without you. So thank you so much.
Couldn't have.
And we will see you again Friday. I think that leaves us one thing left to say.
Oh, Wimatanya.
Hey, Wimatanya indeed. See you guys.